It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, Miss Rusty. Welcome. It's the second show today, and I already can't post on YouTube for a week because YouTube does not allow me to put in links of work that my last guest does. And it was a podcast link, and I can't put it on there. So thank you, YouTube. So this show is going to be on anywhere you get your podcasts and Rumble TV. Probably not YouTube, because if it's going to be a week out, I probably will just not post for a week until they let me back in, because I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I guess I violated their terms, but it's stupid because that's where his podcast is. So I hope they understand it. The show is brought to you by youtube.com, the website where you can view YouTube videos. Nah, just kidding. That's not true. That is a fib. But I'm here today to come on here on a show sponsored by the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network. Stoner Eats Hardcore and Comedy. Hypnosis is great. Sockemup.org. And Fred Ben Savage as book. I think that's everything. It's probably everything that's giving me money for this. So you guys, you're in for a treat. I'm here with a special guest. I have special guests all the time. Who else has special guests 5 days a week? Maybe sometimes more, but I'm bringing that special guest on right here, right now. It's Kristen Jones. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm great. I'm ready to get this going because I'm in the zone. I guess I'm still in the zone, and I get a little amped up with these strikes from YouTube. They like to get me. It's the you got like, oh, 1 strike, 2 strike, at the 2.5 strikes, you're back to 2, no, 3. Oh no, you're now you're 2.5 again, and it's just a whole bunch of that game. And so yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm kind of on one right now. So it could be an interesting, a bit more interesting of a conversation here. So
I'm here for it. And it's interesting as an entrepreneur, it's like, how much can I push the envelope before I really piss someone off?
right. And you never really know until you cross that line. And then
Yep.
and then and they're like, okay, well, that's where it is. That's the
Yep,
line.
there it is. There's that line. All right.
Yeah. I'll try not to cross it, but I probably still will again.
Yep,
But
exactly.
I'll cross it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, there you go.
So we were talking beforehand for a second, and you said that that you're a fur mom. You got some pets.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? What kind of pets do you have?
So I'm a fur mom and a human mom.
Fur mom and a human mom.
Yes. So I have 2 dogs and a cat. My baby is a boxer bull mastiff. He's an 85-pound, like, well, he
Big
looks
dog.
like he will take you out, but he's such a lover. And then my husband's dog is a German short hair pointer who is 11 and a half and has not slowed down at all. She's very sweet, but she is my husband's dog. And then I have a black cat as well, because every healer and witch needs a black cat. And then
I have 2.
Do you 2 black cats?
2 black cats.
Nice. Everybody's like, cats are bad luck. And I'm like, I walk by my black cat every day. I'm fine.
Yep. I mean, it's all relative. Luck is relative.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be to them, might not be good luck to them, but it's good luck to you.
Yeah.
And so that's really what matters. Doesn't matter what someone else's luck is in your existence. It matters what your luck is in your existence.
Yes, exactly. Perception is reality.
Right. and with black cats, it can be that way. And you have to be a little bit, like you said, you have to be some sort of healer of sorts to have that black cat. And you have to, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's something to having those black cats. I have a little side story. So one of my cats, I was living in Salt Lake City for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That didn't look very nice.
Yeah. And so we went to the pound, and they in February they had a deal that every black animal was free. So because Salt Lake City, so every
Oh,
black
wow.
animal was free. So I got a free black cat, waived all the fees. So I
Wow.
it was one of those, they're trying to do something nice, but it didn't quite turn out that way. But I always like that, that's how that went down. But
It's one of
yeah,
those where you're like, is that, I see what you're doing, but I don't think that's the point.
yeah, I don't think that's quite the right message, but you're on the right track, I guess.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And so then you have the cat. And so how much does the cat get to work with you, your black cat? How
Oh,
intertwined are you?
very. I mean, usually if I'm doing like an energetic healing session or I'm on a coaching call or any kind of work, I mean, she comes to me when I'm meditating. This morning she was all over me while I was meditating. I'm like, I need to go in, you need to just be. But yeah, she's always around. It's like the second I start doing anything, she's there.
And so when you're meditating, what's the cat doing?
Usually when I first sit down, she's like, love me, I'm deprived. And so I'll give her some love, and then she'll sit right in my lap and just chill the entire time.
So she's picking up on what you're putting down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah. And so because animals can, they can sense that stuff. Animals can be, um, they need, they can, benefit from energetic healing just as
Mm,
much as humans can.
yeah.
Animals can be hypnotized. It's, I mean, yeah, they're a lot smarter than, I mean, everyone knows the animals are smart, but
Right.
they're still pretty smart. They're smarter than
Yeah.
people give them credit for, and
Yeah.
understand stuff on a deeper level than we give them credit for sometimes too.
Absolutely. I think my dog, well, my husband's dog, I think that she just kind of does her own thing. But mine, Diesel, if I'm upset or one of the kids is upset, immediately he'll be like on the couch or, doing whatever he's doing, and he'll be there in an instant. And I'm like, where did you come from? Like, he just knows, even if nobody's speaking, he just feels it. And he's right there, like, love me and let me help you. And it's really fascinating. And also I think it's important too, to remember, like, when we're doing the healing and we're doing the inner work or like energy work or anything of that nature, to also make sure that you're like clearing them off as well, because they're holding that energy too.
Yeah, and I think that's something that can get missed too a lot, because I mean, you think about how much animals do, especially dogs, I think more than cats. And I've become a bit of a cat person too, but I think dogs have something a little bit different for as far as that, just taking on whatever and really just giving. And it's, yeah, I mean, and the dog's like, okay, I'll just carry this, and
Yeah.
here we go. And so, yeah, I mean, they can get just holding on to that for years and years. So, I
Yeah.
mean, do you have clients that request their animals be, or is that something that you say, hey, your animals are with you too, they should be a part of this, or is anything happen like that?
That's interesting. I don't know that I do healing on my own pets, and it's not really a service that I offer. I used to, but it was just never a popular one. I do have clients that are specific, that one in specific, they do like equine, specifically horses, but they also love to do dogs and their owners, or horses and their owners. So it's a combination of healing. So, I feel like energy is energy is energy. If those pets are around, they're going to benefit from it as well. And they're going to take what they need. And then, just they'll walk away. They'll literally just walk away when they're done. They're like, yeah, no, I'm not having this. I'm done.
Yeah.
But I specifically don't. If my pets need it, then yeah.
So what's it look like with you doing that with the pet? What are you? Do they have a special place they go to? Do they get any extra, treats or something, or do they get some extra pets or anything like that? Extra special water or some sort of food? Is there anything? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, of course you can do like the fun stuff, like giving them treats and extra love and stuff. That's always helpful. Playing outside, like let them play outside and play with them too. But I think that too, we underestimate our own power and potential of what we are doing. So if you're not certified in any style of energetic work, you still have the power to be able to harness the quantum field. And my hands are even vibrating as I'm talking about it, and utilize that energy to clear out the pet. So you could just call in the energy from the quantum field and just be like, what does my pet need? Place it in my hand now. And then gratitude amplifies it. Thank you more, please. Thank you more, please. And let it grow in your hand. And then place that on the pet and just like give them some love.
yeah,
And then you could also just kind of like, flick it off of them, like flick the energy, kind of like what you would do for yourself as you're cleansing your own energy. The same thing for them too. And just kind of like, flick it off of their fur or off of their energetic field.
yeah. And so, is it? Because I don't know. Because there's some places where it seems like it could be fairly popular in some larger cities, where you could just do that with. I don't know. I've seen some things here, and yeah, just having ones that are specifically catering to animals, and so yeah, if everyone has the power to do anything, it's just a matter of knowing that you do. And same with hypnosis. Like everyone knows how to do it, and it's just you just need someone to say, okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
It's just do it. You have the power already. It's
Yes.
already there. Anyone can do it, and I would encourage everyone to do it. Why not? Why not feel great?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's just it. It's like we all have that power and potential, and it's just that decision to just be like, okay. And sometimes I think it's also like, what do I feel like? Like, oh, something's showing up. Like, what do I feel like getting certified or trained in hypnosis? And sometimes even just following those nudges unlocks your soul gifts. And then it's like all of a sudden, like for myself, I channel my own style of energy healing. And so it's like, I was using a combination and now I use my own. And so it's just like following that intuitive nudge and figuring out what is good for you, and trusting yourself. Like you can cleanse your animal, you can cleanse yourself, you can cleanse your home, your family. And it doesn't even have to be in person. It can be from distance. Like we are way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. And what does your method look like?
So mine is, I haven't fully put it out into the public yet. So it's just through client sessions right now. And so this looks like different symbols and things of that nature that I have channeled through meditation or tapping into my spirit guides. Sometimes I'll just be walking around and being like, bam, here's an image, here you go. And I'm like, okay, well, just living my life over here. So for me, like with traditional styles of Reiki, they say that the human is the vessel. Whereas like what I have found through the different styles of training and techniques is like I feel that as us as the vessel, our 3D human selves as a vessel really depending on what the human is going through at that time. If your vessel is clogged, the energy is not going to be as strong. So I like to operate in the field of the quantum field, where it's like I grab the energy from the symbols. I imagine the symbols, you can draw them in your hands or whatever works, and then give. And so we're operating in this field of the quantum field. So literally that's what it looks like. I'm just grabbing it. People are like, can I do a video session with you? I'm like, you'll literally just be staring at me going like this the entire time, holding my hands up. It's not very entertaining at all.
So then, I'm sorry. So you have to be in person, is what you're saying?
No.
Oh, no, you don't.
Nope. I would say my husband's active duty Air Force. So I would say, and we live on a military installation currently. So I would say about 99% of what I do is all online.
So it's, you're talking on the phone then, or talking, basically talking on the phone, or whatever the current way of doing that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Voice, some sort of voice interaction. And that's what you're doing?
So like for my coaching sessions, I do Zoom, but like for my energetic work, it's all, unless somebody wants like a Zoom video, which is totally fine. I would just turn off the video so they can focus on themselves and relax as I do the healing. But otherwise it's just completely distance. They book the session, and then at that time they're chilling, doing their thing. And I'm over here, just doing the healing work, taking notes as things come through for them, what exactly I am doing. That way I can send them the information afterwards.
And so, I mean, yeah, they can be doing whatever. They don't have to be even, sitting at home or anything, sitting in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about energy work. It's like I do recommend, like, if you want to like go outside and ground, or if you want to meditate or take a nap or relaxing bath or whatever, you can. But if you are running around, running errands or working or whatever you're doing, it's completely fine. You're always going to benefit for your highest and best good. Always.
Yeah. And yeah, just being able to have the ability to kind of place it in someone else's hands is, I think, benefit enough in its own. It's almost like, oh geez, I don't know, almost like sort of a religious type of something. Put your everything of yours into something else that is not you, and
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
take
And
care of you.
and I'm really big of us like owning our own power and sovereignty. And on the other, like in the same breath, it's also like we can only take ourselves as far as we are able to go. And then we're hitting a glass ceiling. We can't see our own blind spots. We are capable of healing ourselves. We're capable of doing so many different things. And also, coaches and healers need coaches and healers. We just need each other. We need to be supported. I feel like this field and industry, I dare to say, almost than any other. I mean, every human deserves to be supported and is worthy
Right.
of it. But damn, we take care of people like nobody's business. And the healing community has such amazing big hearts. And it's just that relearning that it's okay to be supported and to invest in yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, it's nice having a whole bunch of people who do kind of the same thing that you do, and trade it around, and however it works. I mean, it's and plus, every time you get to do it yourself, I mean, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good for that. And so you have that going, and then so whoever's doing it for you is going to be feeling good. And a lot
Yeah.
of people are just feeling good. Nothing wrong
Yes.
with it. Nothing wrong
Yes.
with a lot of people feeling good. And I was talking about this the other day with someone on a podcast, that It's okay to feel good. It's so easy now with instant gratification being such a prevalent factor in society to get a short bit of it by getting a pat on the back, saying like, like complaining about everything always being so miserable, and you get this little hit of dopamine from that, as opposed, but always blaming that on external forces, whereas you're
Mhm.
not taking it into yourself and then being able to get that dopamine and serotonin naturally, where and you don't need to have the validation of others for that short little kick, when it's something that can be jarred away in a blink of an eye and you're right back to where you were and not really improving and healing yourself.
Yes. So I laughed because literally this morning I was having a conversation with my coach and one of my mastermind sisters about instant gratification. So there's definitely a theme here. It's like, be patient, slow down, let yourself be supported, take the necessary steps that come through that feel good, that feel aligned, that feel fun, that are going to get you to the next step. But in the meantime, like, why do you feel the need to be instantly gratified? Aside from social media and like, the era that we grew up in, where, there's just that evolution of, oh, I got another like, or, ooh, somebody messaged me. And it's like, how can you bring that back to yourself and take your own power back? And also clear the need to be gratified, the pat on the back, the high five, or whatever. Like, where does that even actually coming from, and freeing and clearing yourself from that so you can just live your life?
And I mean, it becomes such a huge crutch. And then every
Mhm.
time just going and taking this and, ah, not yet. Uh, oh, there it is. Okay. I feel good. I knew if I looked at my phone 16 times in a row, one time I'd have something come through that I like. And the rest of the time, I'm just becoming more and more on edge.
Yes.
When is that going to show up? When is this going to materialize? When am I going to stop feeling terrible by having somebody else take care of this for me while I don't try to do anything for myself?
Yes, yes, exactly. Take that power back and stop gripping. It's like, the universe is already working in our favor, or, God, source, universe, whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. But it's like, when you're gripping and gripping and gripping, your hands aren't open to receive. If you open your hands, take the steps, your whole body actually relaxes. Like, if anybody listening right now, just gripping your hands, like take a tight fist and just realize like how like your forearms start to get tight and like everything starts to tense up. Like, just let go and take a step.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, it's easier said than done, but it's not
Yeah.
hard.
No,
It's not hard. It's
no.
really not hard. And there's so much stuff that we hold on to because we think we need to, and we think that there is, I don't know, some sort of hope for something of that changing and becoming something that's going to be beneficial to us in our life. But the probably not going to. And it's again, it's some external factor that's only, you're going to be waiting on that. Something that may happen, probably won't happen, but you're just always waiting on that. And then you can blame everything on that. And if you don't have that to blame everything on, what are you going to blame everything on? You have yourself. So that's when you got to blame yourself. And you say, no, 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 don't blame yourself. You know what? It's okay to blame yourself, because when you blame yourself, you're able to realize that I need a little bit of help and I could use some energetic healing. And, I could go to somebody and I could feel good. But you're not going to do that if you think that it's something else that's causing these things. It's some other something that's not you, but usually it's you. And And that's okay that it's you.
Yes.
But you gotta know it's you. And
Yeah. Oh my God, so many things just came up. Like, if I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. If I'm to blame, I am the solution, and that is powerful. And then it takes away that shame, that guilt, those really crappy low frequency feelings that we feel as a human being. It's totally fine. It means nothing, but it still doesn't feel good. If I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. And I think too, it's like those stories that you're telling yourselves over and over again, where it's just become your reality. How is that serving you? How is you holding on to what it is, those cycles? Like, one came up for someone in my DMs, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and she was like, I just have always had this story of like a lack energy, money, scarcity, a scarcity mindset. And I was like, okay, well, how is that story serving you? What will it actually mean if you let it go? Like, truly let the story go. How has that become your crutch and your normal? Because it has been for 20 plus years or whatever.
you keep on saying that, you got that right into your subconscious. It becomes a negative self-affirmation, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, whether you want it to be that or you don't want it to be that. It only takes 6 times to say something for it to get in your subconscious and become reality. So watch what you're saying, for one. And two, just, I mean, yeah, your words, your thoughts, your way of thinking mean a lot more than people give that credit for. And yeah, just being able, like, I love what you said, the part about if you can be the I'm gonna butcher this, be the problem, but you're also the solution. Um
Yeah.
Summarized, but yeah, I messed that up. I'm sorry. But
No, it's all good.
you can rewind it back like 2-3 minutes to what she said and listen to that instead of what I just said, and then just fast forward over that and get up to about here. And, and
Write
then
it
you'll be
down.
okay.
Like, if I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. And that can be a great affirmation, because it's like, great, I see this problem. Now I'm the solution. Then our unconscious mind starts working to find those answers for you. And then you have the quantum field, if you want to bring energy into it, also trying to bring solutions and resources your way. And then it's like, okay, well, how do I shift to make my new reality? You shift, you shift, you shift. It's going to feel like a full-time job in the beginning. And sometimes it's really annoying. And also, it is worth it to continue to look at those thoughts and feel into what that new thought is. The new feeling is, fake it till you make it. Feel into your body. This is your reality now. The mind does not know the difference.
Yep, absolutely. And it's gonna need to happen eventually.
Mhm.
And at some point or another, it's gonna blow up in your face, and you may as well just like understand it now. Like, man, this thing has been kind of bugging me, I guess. Like, that's when you need to stop and just go, okay, well, I mean, even if it's only a little bit, if it's a little something, that's a little easy fix, and you
Yeah.
you got that, and it's no longer something that you need to worry about. It's no longer a crutch. It's something that you have overcome. And once you overcome one thing, you can overcome 2 things. And once you overcome something small, you can overcome something larger. And it happens really fast. And once you do it once, but just really getting there and realizing that, what you do can just be change, and that it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's just, so easy to just say it's not okay. It's not okay. I'm not okay. And I don't know what to do, but it's not my problem. It's not my fault. And yeah, I mean, you can say that all you want, and you're going to believe it.
Yeah.
You're going to believe it. You're going to believe it. And you can believe that is going to make your life terrible. And it's just going to make it worse. and harder. And eventually that's going to need to be confronted at some point. And the sooner you know it, the sooner you can start working on healing that. And
Totally. Yeah, I
yeah,
love what you said about the so I'm currently training in rapid resolution therapy, and it is totally blowing my mind. I've been in the world for like a year and a half, and I was like, all right, after having 3 one-on-one sessions with a specialist, I was like, yeah, I'm in. And so I would love to offer, like, first of all, I love what you said about the starting with the smaller target. The target is the word that I wanted to use, but the starting with a smaller like situation that you want to overcome. Because it's like, if you try to climb Mount Everest without doing any training, what good is that going to do? You're not
right.
going to make it to the top. But if you start with a baby step and like maybe take a walk down the street, like at least you're doing something. And it might not feel like, a parade. Here we go with the instant gratification, right? But
Right.
move the target closer, you are getting those wins and stacking those wins. And then the next time it does get easier over time. It doesn't mean you don't have the experiences of being a human, but it does get easier over time. And if you are going through a situation right now, instead of like that, it's my fault, woe is me, like, of course, like, the brain is going to probably think those things, and that's okay. But it's like, okay, how can I see things differently? If you have a boulder in your life right now that's going on right now, it's like, what unconscious mind, what can I do about this very real situation? Your mind is going to start searching for results and different things that you can do. And then again, there's the quantum field comes into play as well, and start bringing situations to help you overcome what it is that you're going through.
And yeah, I mean, eventually you'll figure it out. And if you don't, you're at least trying and you're realizing it. And it's like same thing, with sales or something. You're not gonna land $1 billion deal your first time, but you do have to sell your first product of whatever it is, or service or anything like that. And once you sell that first one, you have a bit of a rhythm, you understand what you need to do to get to that point. And it's just moving forward and keeping that momentum going, and not forgetting that, it's okay to have things happen, or in sales, someone say no, and
Yeah.
it's okay. And it's going to happen, but it's just learning to, and that would be like hitting some sort of roadblock while you're trying to work through. You can't just stop. You got to try to figure out a new way to approach it, and then be able to find that next person that comes by and take what you learn from that to be able to make this new, this issue you're having, be able to have some resolve and make yourself feel great. And
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, how can I celebrate all the wins? Not that I want, we want you to be checking the phone like 100 times a day, but you did get a new follower. That's freaking awesome. That's one more than you had yesterday. Somebody shared your post. That's amazing. It might be one person, but that's one more person sharing your post than you had before. And like, even, something that I've been really shifting to over the past year is celebrating the $11.11 offers just as much as I celebrate the thousands of dollars offers, right? Where it's like, they're all important, they all matter, and they're all wins. And
yeah,
just the little tweaks in the mindset, be like, yes, somebody reached out and asked a question, or, somebody is engaging, and it all matters. It all adds up.
right. And then those, you don't think about it, maybe that those little ones, someone, engaging or asking you a question like, oh, hey, how do I do this? Or like, what might something look like where I would, I did this little bit that worked really well for me, but what would it look like later on if I want to, take the full course? And then, that $11.11 can translate into that, or it could go and give you maybe they'll ask you a question that someone with $1,000 possible purchase would be asking. They wouldn't have known the answer had this other person not asked you before, and you knew how to answer it now, and you have that extra bit of knowledge. And every little bit puts you on the right track and the right path.
Yes. Yeah. And I love the questions too. I make them into content. If one person asks me, I am going to make it into content, because I'm like, okay, one person asked, somebody else is wondering. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if they don't, they're going to eventually. And or if they're not, they're learning something that's something that, yeah, it's obviously out in the universe somewhere for someone to pick up on. And yeah, I mean, nothing's gonna hurt learning a little bit more about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, and so if you can just sort of get that, learning's okay, and feeling good is great.
Yes.
And
Feeling good is the point. I'm like,
right.
Why are we doing this? Because we want to feel good. Because I want other people to feel good. It's the whole point.
And I want other people to feel good for their own success, their own happiness, as opposed to having to focus or rely on something else to do that for them. And just the freedom from that can change someone's life. Then that person can change someone else's life, make their life better, because they're in a better place then. And it's not but they're past the larger part of trying to fix themselves there, and then they're able to help with others. And then it all kind of just goes back around and around and around, and maybe one day they're going to end up helping you. You never know. I've had people who have been my clients who've helped me out later on. And yeah, so you never really know who's going to do what and where that's going to come from, but you have to be open to accept it, and open to acknowledge it, and open to know that it's okay.
Yes. It's like the butterfly effect. It's interesting because when you start taking those steps, yes, it does affect others around you, even if you don't say a word. One of my signature program is called the Rising Phoenix, and one of my healers asked the other day, she's like, we've spent like the past 4 months stripping away different layers so they can step into their power, and like limiting beliefs, fears, witch wounds, all of those things. And she was like, my family and friends are starting to notice. They're starting to ask me questions about like, different situations or healing, or, different things are being brought up. And I'm like, energy is energy is energy. Of course they are. You don't have to say a word. You are healing not just yourself, but your lineage. And that's powerful. And then it affects your friends too.
Yeah. And I mean, energy, or, anything of that, or, any sort of trauma or something of that's not resolved. I mean, that gets passed down to your kids, their kids' kids, and all of a sudden they have some fear of something, or some sort of something blocked in their mind, and they have no clue why or what it's from. And it's only from existing. It's only from existing, and they have it. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, especially if you have, I mean, even if you don't have kids, if you have, anyone that you're friends with, like, it'll rub off on them too. And they're going to take on stuff that you have. And it's real easy to take on other people's poor energy, probably more than good energy.
Yeah, that is true. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And I don't know why searching for it, sometimes seems like, we're searching for it. and then not able to clear it from ourselves and just holding on to it. And so yeah.
I guess that actually does make sense because, we're looking for it and that's just the mind. It was designed to keep us safe. I mean, it's not really useful now because we're not running through from saber-toothed tigers. And I would be willing to bet that most people are actually safe, but our brain is just scanning for the negative, like what is going to kill us.
Right.
And, and in everyday life on social media, someone leaving a bad comment, that it feels like death sometimes, even though we know we're fine. And so
Right.
to take on, even just in public, taking on that negative energy, it's absolutely a thing. And learning how to protect your own energy and keep your own vibration high is important.
Yeah. And it can get real downhill real fast with just one comment you saw online, or one negative thing. There could be 99 good things and one person saying one thing, and that's what you're going to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, everyone's saying, oh, you did so good, but then one person like, oh, that sucked, that was stupid, like you should just quit. And then it goes in your head like, well, maybe they're right. What's this one person? And it's like, that's just one person, and maybe they're just having a bad day, maybe they're mad at the world, maybe they're a troll, maybe they're right. But it's not, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter really what they think or what the 99 other people really think.
Yeah.
Only matters what you think and what you can do to make yourself better and then evolve and feel great.
Yes, exactly. And, what are you making it mean about yourself? That's one of my favorite questions. What am I making this mean about myself? And is that
Right.
actually true? Well, most of the time it's not true.
Yeah. And most of the time it's knocked out of proportion to be way bigger than it actually is. And when it's really just a small thing that, okay, that's it, that's over. We're past that now. And rather than just holding on to it and saying that person's right, and then blaming it on that person and people like them for not liking what you're doing. And again, I can't let that happen. And
Yeah.
it's still all about the person, the individual. And look within yourself always, and you'll find what, like, what we said earlier with I can't repeat it. So if you're the problem, you're also the solution.
Yep. Boom.
Okay. Boom. Boom.
Mic drop.
So yeah. And I think that's where we have to let it go, because if we're getting a boom in there, that means that. So that means usually about the end. And that brought it back to the beginning. So where can people find you, Kristen? On the internet or wherever?
Yeah. So I'm most active on Instagram. That'll be in the show notes because my name is spelled different. Thanks, Mom. Shout out to Mom. But it's XO_Kristen Jones. And watch my stories, slide into my DMs. I love to have conversations, ask questions. Let me know what your aha moment was. And then ansherises.com is my website for all the things. I've got a few freebies that'll be in the show notes as well. Magnetize Your Soulmate Client, which is a free guided meditation infused with my intuitive quantum healing. And then if you feel like you are a healer and you are suffering from the witch wound, or the witch wound is affecting you, or you want to know more about that, there's a free Heal the Witch Wound workbook as well.
Excellent. Yeah. Like I said, I'll put that all in the show notes, and so you guys can find it easily. And thank you so much for coming on. And I'm happy we got to talk and get to know you and get some good information out to the listeners. And so that's what it's really about anyway. So yeah. And Yeah. So thanks so much, and yeah, have a great rest of your day. And it's okay to feel great. So
Yes. Point
go
is to
feel
feel
great.
good. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
you're very welcome. All right, that was Kristen Jones. So check her out. It's ChristianJones. So that's how you spell it. There you go. That's why. And so thank you for listening here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network. Again, this show is brought to you by Stoner Eats Productions. This is brought to you by Sock'emUp.org. It's brought to you by Hardcore Entertainment. This is brought to you by Hypnosis is Great and Fred Ben Savage as Fuck. The series that Disney sent us a cease and desist to stop making, and then stole our idea for the podcast and made it their own. So thank you, Disney. And I'm Rusty Diamond, and that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?